Our moon has been placed precisely in the orbit it travels. There is no way it could obtain its orbit randomly. Our moon is the only moon in the solar system that has a stationary, near-perfect circular orbit. Stranger still, the moon's center of mass is about 6,000 feet closer to the Earth than its geometric center, which should cause wobbling. But the moon's bulge is on the far side of the moon, away from the Earth. It seems that something must have put the moon in orbit with its precise altitude, course, and speed. The odds of any of these factors randomly happening is 0. How does one explain the coincidence that the moon is just the right distance, coupled with just the right diameter to completely cover the sun during an eclipse? Again, Isaac Asimov explains, there is no astronomical reason why the moon and the sun should fit so well. It is the sheerest of coincidences, and only the Earth among all the planets is blessed in this fashion. Once you consider all the science we know about the moon, you're left with one inescapable conclusion. The moon is not, nor ever has been, Earth's natural satellite. The ancient calendar of Tiahuanaca in Bolivia tells of a time when our moon wasn't there. Theories about the moon actually date back thousands of years as various cultures and civilizations discuss the story of how it came to be where it resides today. Greek authors Aristotle, Plutarch, as well as Roman authors Apollonius, Rhodius, and Ovid all wrote of a group of people called the Proselines, who lived in the central mountainous area of Greece called Arcadia. The Proselines claimed title to this area because their forebears were there before there was a moon in the heavens. Now, this claim is substantiated by symbols on the wall of the courtyard of Calasacia, near the city of Tiahuanaca, Bolivia, whose symbols record that the moon came into orbit around the Earth between 11,500 and 13,000 years ago, long before recorded history. African Zulu legends say the moon is hollow and the home of the python or chicheria, a reptilian race of intelligent extraterrestrials. The legend states the moon was brought here hundreds of generations ago by two brothers, Waywan and Panku, who were the leaders of these reptilian extraterrestrials. These two reptiles were known as the Water Brothers, and they both had scaly skin like a fish. The Zulu tale is very similar to the Mesopotamia and Sumerian accounts about the two chief leaders who were also brothers, Enlil and Enoch, lords of the earth. The Zulu legend tells of how Waywan and Panku stole the moon in the form of an egg from the giant fire dragon and emptied out the yolk until it was hollow. Then they rolled the moon across the sky to the earth, which brought about cataclysmic events on the planet that ended the golden age of the past. This legend fits well into the theory of the reptilian-human hybrids, which are thought to run our world today. Credo Mutwa, a Sulu shaman, claims that the Earth was very different then than it is now before the moon had arrived. There weren't any seasons, and the planet was perpetually engulfed by a canopy of water vapor. People did not feel the strong glare of the sun that we do now, and they could only see it through a watery mist. The Earth was once a beautiful place, a lovely place, lush and green, with giant redwoods, violets, and ferns, with a gentle drizzle and mist. The water canopy fell to the Earth as a cataclysm of rain when the moon was put into place in the Earth's orbit. This could explain the Noah story in the Bible, when it rains for 40 days and 40 nights. The arrival of the moon, along with the reptilians, changed everything on Earth. The moon modified the Earth's rotation and angle. The Earth turned on its axis as we were upside down, as the legend says, and brought more powerful tidal systems that once had been much calmer. The Zulu also claimed that women did not menstruate before the moon arrived. How could the Zulu, an ancient African tribe, know of the complex gravitational effects the moon has and would have on the Earth? Much of our current knowledge of the moon was discovered in the last century. Zulus and other native African accounts say the moon was built far, far away to keep an eye on people and as a vehicle to travel the universe. The Zulus say that the reptilians' giant mothership is the moon, and that's where they escaped to during the cataclysms of the Great Flood, which they themselves had caused by manipulating the orbit of the moon and creating other cosmic events. Outrageous as the spacecraft moon theory might first appear, consider how this model reconciles all the mysteries of the moon. First, it explains why the moon gives evidence of being older than the Earth, and perhaps even our solar system, and why there are 3 distinct layers within the moon's crust, with the densest material on the outside layer, as one would expect if it's the hull of a spacecraft. Second, it could also explain why little to no water has been found on the moon's surface, yet there is evidence it exists deep inside. This theory could also explain the strange Maria and Maskins, perhaps the remnants of the machinery used to hollow out the moon. The idea of an artificial satellite could explain the odd rhythmic moonquakes as artificial constructs give way or collapse, reacting the same way during periods of stress from the Earth's pull. And artificial equipment beneath the moon's surface could be the source of the gas clouds that have been observed. If we know the moon is not natural, or at least is a natural satellite that was hollowed to become a spaceship, are there any indications on the surface of the moon that would support this? The answer to this question may startle you. There are a plethora of strange sightings and phenomena on the surface of the moon, many of which you can see with a decent telescope or even the naked eye. Aristarchus, Plato, Eratosthenes, Bela, Rabbi Levi, and Poseidonus all reported anomalous lights on the moon. Even NASA, 1 year before the first lunar landing, reported 570 plus lights and flashes were observed on the moon from 1540 to 1967. As recent as 2014, sightings of lights seen on the moon continue to be reported. Seeing lights on the moon is actually quite common. However, the anomalies don't stop there. A multitude of photographs taken by astronomers as well as NASA show several strange mechanical-type devices on the surface of the moon. The shard, an obelisk-shaped object that towers 1.5 miles from the Euclid area of the moon's surface, was discovered by Orbiter 3 in 1968. Dr. Bruce Cornett, who studied the amazing photographs, stated no known natural process can explain such a structure. The tower, one of the most curious features ever photographed on the lunar surface, is an amazing spire that rises more than 5 miles from the sinus media region of the lunar surface. And there's more. Unusual structures have been discovered across the moon's surface, scattered like the remnants of some long past civilization. Even we have left our own litter on the moon. Other strange lunar phenomena include the observation by Dr. Frank Harris of a black body on the surface 250 miles long and 50 miles wide, clouds and lightning, strange moving shadows and objects, and spire-like structures thousands of feet high. A huge boulder with tracks behind it from inside a crater to the rim running uphill. The shrinking over a period of time of the crater Luna from 6 miles in diameter to 1.5 miles. Hill effects in craters appearing and disappearing in a few hours. Over 800 substantial observations have been made by scientists of blinking and flashing lights. The results of NASA photographs of the lunar surface indicating several large pyramid structures, strange rifts in the surface with entrances, massive girders, machinery, and some 1,000-kilometer blocks of metal alongside tears in the surface. Scientific experts, including NASA investigators, believe that the moon is hollow. It is the only explanation. The velocity of sound has been found to increase with depth, and at 40 miles it is too fast for the speed of propagation through rock substance. NASA is a government agency, and all government agencies are known to have a history of concealing information from the general public. Questioning NASA's story isn't ludicrous. Many speculate that NASA discovered unsettling information when they finally visited the moon decades ago. Information that would have caused them a lot of problems if leaked to the public. Therefore, we have never returned any human missions to the moon since. Any suggestion of the moon not being what we've been told it is usually follows with accusations of conspiracy theory and pseudoscience, Although there may be many theories that aim to debunk all the aspects of this information, there are too many factors that still don't add up. How is it that seemingly unconnected ancient cultures have their own version of the artificial moon myth? Why are there unexplained geometric structures on the surface of the moon which correlate to the structures found in ancient Egypt and other primitive locations on Earth? How is it that by miraculous chance, the moon perfectly eclipses our sun? The mathematical random probability that the sun and moon would perfectly align for a total eclipse to appear on Earth is 0. And yet the moon has perfectly timed phases and does eclipse often. The distance of the sun to the moon and the moon to the Earth, which allows for the synchronized and complete coverage of the disk of the sun, is impossible unless the moon were placed precisely where it is. Only an intelligence could do that.